Okay, Daniel, we're not live now.
All right. Hello, everyone. Um, how's everyone doing? I'm Daniel, and I'll be your Python instructor. And we'll be doing some amazing things, great stuff here. And then, of course, after Python, we're going to move to deep learning, AI, deep learning, and then get to do some awesome projects. Yeah. I wish I could see who my students. Um, Basically just getting familiar with this. So, uh, okay, so I'm not seeing anybody, but let's just dive in. Okay, so like I said, my name is Daniel. I'm Daniel Wachku, but you could call me Daniel. And of course, this is your Python class. Um, Not exactly sure. I th I think I should just go straight to the Python and what we're going to achieve with Python and the amazing stuff we do. Yeah. Okay, so I'll just go straight to sharing my screen and I'll walk you through what the next 6 weeks will be for you. Okay, so let's just go. Alrighty. Okay, so I'll just go into Python. Okay, so first off, what is Python? Python is a language, a very, very extremely simple language that, in my own explanation, it's like English, right? It's like speaking or learning to speak English. So if you can speak English, then you're fine, right? And then what can we use Python to do? There are many applications of Python. You could use Python for web development. That's basically learning how to make websites, apps, web apps, and some really, really nice web dev things. Then Python could also be used for, if you move from um, web dev, you could use Python for AI, which is what we're going to be focusing on here in this class. And like I said, it's extremely, extremely simple. Um, yeah, Python has other awesome, awesome applications. But the beautiful thing about it is that, and that's one of the beautiful things about it, because it's very universal, right? You could use it for many things, right? It's a starting point. It's like learning to speak English. And then when you can speak English, then you can apply that English or apply that coding to do some other amazing things. Like I said, you can make apps, you can make AI, you could even do robotics programming, you could do deep learning and what have you, right? Okay, so I'll just quickly run through, the touch points or what we're expected to achieve for the entirety of the 6 weeks, right? So as you're seeing on my screen, you'd see different weeks, and you'd see under those different weeks, um, there are topics to do, or there are topics we're going to cover, and after every week, we're going to have assignments, and we're going to have projects, like you can see down here. So let me just run through week one. So week one is basically our introductory class, is our, in codes, hello world. Now, if you've done any coding before, you'd know that once you hear hello world, that's like coding 101. That's the first thing you ever learn to do in um, in any coding exercise or any coding language. All right. So yeah, we're going to start with hello world, something as simple as just printing hello world on the console, right? Just print it out and then you get to see it. And yeah, so the other thing you're going to print, like you're going to learn to use the print statement. And the reason behind this is sometimes you might need to see what's happening behind, or what your computer is doing or what your program is doing. So the print statement helps you to output that so you can see what's happening behind the scenes when you're programming. And then we're going to move on to data types. Data types, basically, data types are like how you want your data to be, how you want the computer to receive your data, right? It's just that simple. Um, so there are several data types. There are strings, like you can see here. Um, there are integers, there are floats. Yeah, we're going to basically focus. There are other data types, Boolean and all, but we're going to actually just focus on strings, integers, and floats. All right, and you could do amazing, amazing stuff with this, right? I just can't wait. I'm so excited. I can't wait for us to start, putting all this into practice. All right, so the next thing we're going to learn to do is indexing. We're going to call indexing basically means counting your data types. It's just as simple as that. So here you can see 3, 4, 5, 23, 5, 5, 5. You could say the index of 3 is, or 3 has the first index, 4 has the next or the second index, 5 has the next index, and then as far as you can count. So that's basically what indexing is about. And then the next thing we're going to work on today is variables. So variables are basically, they're like, some people call them buckets. Some other people call them containers. You could think of them as a bag. Just basically anything you can use to hold data types. You can keep data types for later use, right? So when we start implementing this, it will make better sense to you. And then, of course, we're going to work on impute statements. So impute statements basically means how your computer takes in um, data types, all right, or data, how your computer takes in data. So, like you can see here, it's you're asking you're asking the person, what is your name? So the person is supposed to type in his name after the person sees what is your name. We'll get to run that, and then you see what that means. And again, this is going to be very, very hands-on, very practical. Um, and you're going to do a lot of typing. You're not going to just copy and paste, even though I presume you would have access to um, this Collab. You're going to have access to all these things I'm showing you, like you're going to have it on your own system, but you are not going to copy and paste them. You're going to type them for yourself, because again, coding is you doing your typing. There's you copying and pasting is not the same as you typing it out by yourself, right? When you type it out, you're getting accustomed to the syntax. Syntax here means how you're getting used to how you should put your words or how you should put your code in such a way that the computer understands. And then you're getting used to the semantics. Semantics means what your code means, right? So syntax means how it looks to the computer or how it looks to the viewer or the person looking at your code, and also to the computer. But semantics means what it means, right? Okay, we'll delve into that much more. And then when we're done with that, we'll just wrap up with a very simple exercise like you're seeing here. And like I said, every week you're going to have an exercise to do. And yeah, feel absolutely free to take up any idea that comes to your mind and code it out. And one thing I would advise you is, when in doubt, when you're not sure what this is going to be like, code it and then run it and let's see. And then see for yourself. You might get errors, but errors are just the computer. They're just the computer talking to you, right? If there's an error, the computer is telling you, oh, I don't understand what that means. Oh, could you break that down for me? Oh, could you change the syntax so I can understand your English or I can understand your language properly? Um, so yeah, don't get scared when you see errors. Don't get discouraged. You get to see them a lot, especially because you get to see them a lot. The idea is the computer is just talking to you. All right, it's just telling you what it likes. You're communicating with the computer, and then the computer is communicating back with you. All right. So if I code something and you try to code it on your end, but you don't get the same result, you're getting an error or you're not getting the same result, the computer is talking to you. I wish I could have everybody, I could hold your hands through this class. This is our first class, so I would see how we can make that happen. So if you have an error, you could just share the error, and from that error, we would find a way around it. There are no error. All those errors are very simple. Actually, they are not difficult. They are very simple. All right. So so that being said, so where are we? Where is this? So this right here is Google Colab. That's why it's CO, Google Collaboratory. So let me just type in what is Google Colab. Okay, so Google Colab is basically an IDE. Let's see. Yeah, and we'll be doing a lot of um, asking Google questions. We'll be doing a lot of question asking. Sometimes you might not know, nobody knows all the answers, right? Even while I'm teaching you, there are things I'll still need to, check out and just be sure. Coding is not necessarily you holding on to the syntax. Like you have to cram all the syntax in your head. No, it doesn't work that way. You have to um, just have an intuition that you should just know, oh, I know that I'm supposed to print here. I know I'm supposed to put an impute statement here. I know I'm supposed to do a function here. I know I'm supposed to do this here. But you might not necessarily know how to code that or type that in. You might make a mistake. So all you have to do is just come and just ask how to print in Python. It's just as simple as that. And then click the enter button. And then you see different guides. Oh, this one tells you type in the print and then two parentheses, and then put in what you want to print inside that parentheses. Then you just quickly, oh yeah, you quickly run back to your code and you quickly type in print and then put in something inside and run it. If it works for you, fantastic. If it doesn't work, you go back again and check. Am I making a mistake somewhere? Am I missing something out? Right? It's just as simple as that. You don't need to cram or keep all the syntax in your head. You just need to know what you're supposed to do at every point in time, and then Google will do the rest for you. Okay, so Google Colab is an IDE, like you can see here. An IDE basically means an integrated development environment. It basically means where you're going to run your code, where you're going to do your coding. What platform are you going to use to do your coding? There are many of them. There's, especially for Python, there is PyCharm, there is Jupyter Notebook, there is Google Colab, there is VS Code, that's Visual Studio Code. You could just check them out as I'm saying them. And there is Shell. The many different IDEs, right? And you could whatever you feel comfortable with, you could just start with. You could work with that, right? And sometimes it's language dependent. So that means there's some kind of coding you want to do that you can't do on PyCharm, but you can do it on VS Code, or you can do it on Shell, or you can do it on any other IDE. It depends on the kind of code you want to do. And for us in this course, we're going to be focusing on using Google Colab for several reasons. One, Google Colab is very fast. It doesn't depend on your system. You're basically doing everything on cloud. Like you can see, this is a tab here. This is a window. Everything I'm doing is on this cloud, is on this window, right? I'll show you how to come in here. If I were doing it on my system, I would have to, go down into my system and then find the app and then run the app, all those things. And then sometimes your system might just have some issues. But with Colab, you could just pick up any system anywhere. It doesn't even have to be your own system. Log into your Gmail account here. Once you log into your Gmail account, go into your drive. From your drive, you'd have access to your Colab, right? I'll show you how to do that. But it's just as simple as that. Any system, even your phone, your tab, you could do your code in there, right? It's not dependent on your system or the system. It's on cloud. It's stored on cloud. And any change you make stays, you don't have to save it, right? It automatically just stays, right? In some other IDEs, you might need to save them after you have written your code. If not, you would forget it. Okay, so fantastic. All right, so that's what Google Colab is for. And we've talked about Python. Oh, okay, so I could get to see my audience. Let me just type in the. Oh, fantastic. Okay, so let me just type in the YouTube link and then get to see everybody online. Oh, I'm looking forward to it. I want to see your beautiful faces. And I should be live in. Okay, so I'm live. Fantastic. And I should be live in. Okay, so I'm live. Fantastic. And I should be live. Sorry guys, let me just try to put off my audio. Sorry guys, let me just try to put off my audio. Six. Okay, I'm having a little difficulty. Um, what do I do? Okay, can I stop my? Okay, let me see. Let's do this.
Yeah, hi Daniel. You're live. You just continue. We can all hear what you're saying. Hello? Yeah, you're muted. So you've muted yourself. Nobody can hear you, Daniel.
Okay.
Yeah, you're muted. So you've muted yourself. Nobody can hear you, Daniel.
Okay. Okay. So I'll just have to continue. Okay. So I'll just have to and then keep the questions. Okay. So. Okay. Okay. Sorry, guys. It's echoing. I would have to sort that out another time. Okay. I'd have to sort that out on another time. So let me just walk through. Maybe before we start our coding, I would sort it out. Okay, so like I was saying, we're working with Google Colab, and Google Colab has many really nice functionalities that we're going to be taking advantage of. One of the functionality is you have access to GPUs. So right over here, let me just do share. Okay, so right over here, you have access to GPUs. All you have to do is come down to, let me take it again, come down to change runtime type, and then you have hardware accelerators. If you want to just stick with not having, this is basically like using your CPU. When it's none, you're basically using a CPU. So it's just like using your system, your normal local system. But when you take advantage, click this, click runtime type, and then you could take advantage of GPUs and TPUs. GPUs basically means graphic processing units. It basically means that if your system was going to take, say, 10 minutes to run a particular code, or yeah, 10 minutes to run a particular code, if you're using GPU, you could run that code in a second. If your code was going to take 3 days to run and then you use a GPU, your code is going to take 10 seconds to run, right? It's that fast, right? So that's why we're going to use, and because for deep learning, we're going to be doing many heavy computations, heavy computations. That means heavy calculations, a lot of calculations. We need a GPU. If you're using a system, it will be extremely, extremely slow. But if you're using a GPU, it will be faster. And yeah, TPU means tensor processing unit. Um, Deep learning deals basically with tensors. I'll explain what that means. So, just a good way to see it is just that it's faster than even GPUs, right? In some circumstances, right? So, let me just explain again. None means you're using your CPUs in your system or your local system, or you're just using CPUs from the cloud. GPU means you're using graphic processing units. They're extremely fast and they make your work fast, right? TPUs are faster than GPUs, but we are not going to use TPUs because we're not doing very complex things. We're doing something very simple, right? So we're just going to stick with GPUs and get that fast compute. All right. So that's what this is. Um, I should let you guys have access to the Collab, to the shared drive, so you can come into the Collab and then get a full experience of what it's like. I'll let my co-facilitators share the link. So all you have to do is basically click on the link. It takes you to your drive. It takes you to this shared drive, and then you just click on shared with me right here. Once you click on shared with me, you would see either Python or, I hope I don't have sensitive. I'm about to go to my shared with me. Let me see. Okay, fantastic. So you would see Python, you would see AI and ML class. So um, all you have to do is just click on Python, because this is Python class, and then double click on this, and then voila, you're in Collab. All right, it's just that simple, and then you can do some pretty amazing stuff here. Trust me. All right, so I'll just delete this because I already have it open. It's the same thing. So I'm going to be making changes to this Collab, and then you're going to be seeing it save up here. You would see saved up here automatically. I don't have to do any extra thing. But I would advise that for your own system, you would need to come to File, click on File, then click on Open New Notebook. Don't do your compute here. Once you come into Drive, you double click and come to Python class. Go to File and then click New Notebook. Please don't try to edit anything here. I'll be the one doing the editing here. What you have to do is come open a new notebook. It automatically opens in your drive. So if I go to my drive, I should see new notebook. If you come to your drive, if I just put untitled, 'cause 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 I just put untitled, ' here. So this is it here, untitled 0, untitled 0. So it automatically opens a new one for you on your own drive, not in the shared with me, but in your drive, right? So that's all you need to do. So any change I make here automatically saves here. Why did you pull me out? I want to be inside here. Okay, so any change I make here again will automatically be saved here. All right, let me run it through again for those of you that didn't get it. So you would get the link. Once you click on the link, it will take you to, or you get a way to get into the shared with me. Once you come into your drive, click on the shared with me, then come into Python, click into the Python folder, and then you would get into, you'd see Python class, double click on Python class, and then you would have access to this Collab. Now you're having access to this Collab so you could not just depend on the screen, but on your own screen too, on your own. This is for your own quick view. In case I skip something and I've gone ahead, you could always just go back and check it from your own from your own end, right? Um, and all you have to do once you have access to the Python class is come to Files, click on New Notebook. Another one we created. This one should be Untitled 1. Untitled 1. Fantastic. So it automatically saves in your drive. Here, you should see your avatar here or your picture. So that's how you know that it's saved in your drive. All right. So yeah, so let's just dive in. So now we're in Collab. We can do amazing stuff in Collab. We have very fast compute on Collab. We're not depending on our system on Collab. We're depending on GPUs in cloud. This was actually given by Google. That's why it's called Google Collab. So anything we do is just stored for you by Google. It's like storing your document in your drive. That's exactly what it is. Okay. So for Python class, like I said, well, let's now dive into some coding. I really wish I could see your screen so I could and see if you have any issues. Um, Mr. Jai, I would have to crave your indulgence. I'm unable to join the YouTube without it interfering with the class. So I'm a little blindsided as to what the students are saying or what questions they're asking. If you would be so kind as to relay with me via WhatsApp what questions they have or what challenges they have as we start, I would really, really be appreciative of that. All right. So,
Okay, hi Daniel.
yes,
So
sir.
a lot of the learners have problems with the collab. So
Okay.
can you send me a link, the link you're talking about? Can you send it to me? We have a private chat there. You can just send it on private chat so I can send to the learners so they can join collab. On a second note, I probably
Okay.
think we should have used maybe you should have used normal Python IDLE so they'll just get it because I think they are struggling getting the collab from here.
Okay. Okay. That's fine then. That's fine then.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so what we could do, yeah, I think we could go with the second option. What we could do is, so yeah, if you have a normal Python IDE that you can do your Python coding in, that'll be fine. You just have to open it, and we can kickstart with that. Then hopefully, definitely before next class, we'll sort out the collab issue. Everything I run here, you could just type into your IDE and then it'll run, right? And then if you have any errors, you could just copy the error and then paste it on as a message here. Also, Mr. Ajayi can relay it to me. Yeah, but you could just use your collab. You could just use your IDE. Definitely,
But
that's
I
fine.
know, yeah, Daniel, you might still want to tell us how to get the ID into our systems, like download the ID and stuff. You might still want to show the learners.
Oh, fantastic. Okay. Okay, so one other ID you could use and to run locally is PyCharm. So I'll just type in, or you could just do download PyCharm here. So download PyCharm. Now, if you're using it doesn't really depend on if you're using a 32-bit system or a 64-bit system, it automatically just adjusts to whatever type of type of system you're using or OS you're using. So just click on the download PyCharm. Let me go back again so that's not too fast. Okay, so just click on download PyCharm. It brings you into this awesome page, and all you have to do is click on the community download, not the professional, the community download, and just click there and it should automatically download down here. But then again, it's about 372 MB. So depending on your network, it might take a little time. It might take a little time. One thing we could do as an alternative, I was really hoping we'd use PyCharm. I'm hoping we'd use Google Colab. Okay, so one thing you could do is just come to Google search box and then type Google Collaboratory. Yeah, Google Collaboratory, and then click download and click the enter button and then enter click on the first link. It brings you to this, right? You could just step out of this and click on the page. You would see a welcome to Google Collaboratory. So this is another way to go to get access to Google Colab if you're having issues with the shared drive. Okay, so just come again, go to Collab, go to Google, ask for Google Collaboratory. Doesn't matter how you spell it, it's going to correct it for you. So, and then it brings you to this. Click on this link here, Google Colab, and it takes you to a welcome page. It's as simple as that. Click outside that box here, and then you have this awesome. These are tutorials to help you, to guide you through Google Colab, but you might just want to take a look at this later. But for the class now, all you have to do is come to File and click on New Notebook. That's it. That's it. So welcome to Google Colab, or welcome to Collaboratory. Click on File and click on New Notebook. Create another one, as many as you want, but please, we're just focusing on one now. So yeah, I think this is the fastest way, because I don't know how fast your internet is for you to get access to PyCharm, and then it might take a short time for you to install. So yeah, this is one other fantastic quick way we could get this running. So I guess everybody should have access to this now. Mr. Ajayi, is anybody struggling with it now? Hello, Mr. Ajayi. Is anybody struggling with getting Google Colab now?
Oh, you can go on. They're just the only thing now is some of them are complaining that your screen is blurry.
Blurry. Okay.
Well, it's fine. You can go. I think it's from YouTube.
Okay. Okay. Fine. Okay. So I want this to be as practical as possible, and I know how frustrating it can be when you're trying to run through with a tutorial and it's not working, or you're not getting this exact result. That's why I want to be I want to carry everybody as much as I can. So again, if you have any issues, just lay them out, and then we'll see how we can help you with it. I don't mind coming back to rerun whatever I've done, or whatever I've said, or whatever I've talked about. I don't mind coming back to rerun it and explain it further. Yeah, so this will get you Google Colab, and then that means I would have to code on a new IDE, on a new Collab notebook. Let me just pull this here close to the Python class, and fantastic. Okay, so let's get into coding. So like I said, Python is extremely simple. It's like speaking English. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to learn print statements. Again, call me back if you're not sure about anything I've said. Okay. So print statements. So print statements are basically to output whatever you want to output for your viewing, so you see what's happening back end, what the computer is doing, right? This will make clearer sense to you as we go further. Okay, so let's start with the print statement. So it's as simple as saying print, and now when you click on just one bracket, it automatically gives you another bracket, right? Do you see that? I just clicked on one bracket and it gives me an automatic gives another bracket. So this is print. Now you don't just go in and say print, maybe my name is Daniel. So let me just print Daniel. You don't just go in and say print Daniel. If you do this, you're going to get a big error. Let's try it. When in doubt, code it. So let's code it. Let's see. You're going to get a very big error. Okay, it's initializing here. That means it's connecting to the internet. Here, yes. You can see you're going to get an error. But if you put this within a quotation mark, just like that, and then you click, you click this button here to run it, or you click Shift Enter, it'll run it. And then it prints it out, no errors. Wow, fantastic. So, yeah, again, let's print something else. You could do amazing, whatever you want to print. I like ice cream. Again, it has to be between these quotation marks. One is fine. You could use two. Two still works. Let's try two. Or let's do I am wearing a purple shirt. Yeah. You can type as fast as you can. You can type as fast as you can. And then just click it. And then it runs. So it doesn't really matter the quotation marks, number of quotation marks you have. If it's one or if it's two, it will still give you the same result. But ensure that it's inside the quotation mark, right? Okay, so that's basically what it means. So if you tell print anything, but in our case we're saying print from our hello world, and then if you print that again, shift enter to print, or you click on this play button here. Okay, so we're done with our print statement. It's just that simple. Now, if you wanted to print an imaginary dog, okay, this will take a little time to do, just a little time to do. I'm just going to skip this, and then I'll share this collab with you. And all you have to do is just retype what you see here, and then see the amazing results. And then you could play with it, right? You could play with it, and then type anything you want to see on the console, and then it will output that for you. So I'm just going to print this. Okay, so let's do this. Print X, right? This will give you X, right? But if I wanted to print X several times, maybe 8 times, I would put the times button or this asterisk key, and I would put in 8. Now, once I do this, it's going to print X 8 times. Wow, that was amazing. Yeah, so that's basically it. The print statement is awesome. You can use it to do amazing things. You can use it to print stuff, to tell your computer to tell you stuff, or tell the user stuff when they're using your program. It's just that simple. Okay, so I'll need to be rounding off, but before I round off, let me just quickly touch on the data types. Now, when in school, they told us that computers take in data, right, and then processes it and gives us useful information. But then those data there are different ways to impute data. There are different types of data. That's what data types are. For us, we call it numbers. For computers, or in the computer world or coding world, we call it integers. Integers, that's number values. See it there? So any integer, any number is an integer. But if it's a sentence, a word that you put within the quotation mark, again, you have to put it within the quotation mark. If not, the computer will not know that you're talking about a string. If not, the computer will know that you're talking about a string. You have to put it in within a quotation mark or two quotation mark, double quotation marks. All right. Once you do that, the computer knows that it's a string. So strings are basically for writing words and writing sentences. All right. Integers are for writing numbers. Once it's a number, it's called integer. Floats are for decimals. We call them decimals, but computers, or in the computer world, coding world, we call it integer. We call it floats. Once it's a 2 point something, 10 point something, once there's a dot there or a point there, it becomes a float. All right, decimal values. Okay, so let me see. Can we touch on any of this? Or we can't do any of the exercise. Okay, so what we could do is, once I share the notebook, you could try out this exercise for yourself. But for what we covered today, I'll just give another assignment, and the assignment is I would need my co-facilitators to help me type it out for you. So basically what you want to do is print. I want you to use the print statement to print should I do, I think I have a star. I have a star somewhere. Okay, I would have to do it. Okay, let me just do it quickly. Yeah, okay, so this with 5, okay. So you could do 6, 4, 2, 1. Okay, so if I run this, yeah. So you see this triangle, inverted triangle. Your assignment is to print, get me this result on your just get it as an output. Okay, so print. Okay, I like stars. They are beautiful. I am going to make a triangle star. And so all you have to do is invert this triangle. Let's start from up and then move down. Instead of it starting from, instead of it reducing as it's coming down, it should be increasing as it's coming down, right? And that's the assignment, just basically to get you to code. But I would be super glad if you go beyond what I ask you to do. Then the exercises, you're supposed to make make a triangle star. Yeah, and if you could make any shape, any other shape, that'd be fantastic, right? So yeah, but this is just to get you to code. It's not, this is pretty basic. I know it's pretty simple, but it's just to get you to code. And hopefully next class we'll do much. We actually have to do much more, because you're going to use Python for deep learning. So we're going to have to cover Python as fast as possible. And yeah, but it's pretty simple. Here you can see this right here. It says all changes have been saved. So that means when we come back another time and just click on this notebook, we will start exactly from where we stopped. All right. Amazing, right? Yeah. Okay, so on that note, I hope you guys got the assignment. Use print statements to print. I like stars, they are beautiful. And then the next line print, I am going to make a triangle star. And then the next set of other lines, you can determine how many, how big you want your triangle to be. But then all I want is for you to make a triangle that starts with a small figure here, and then next line will be larger, and the next one will be longer and longer and longer. Right? That's what I want you to do. And then if you can go beyond this to create something nice and surprise me, that'll be amazing. I'll be looking forward to it. So on that note, I should be um, rounding up. Um, it's been an amazing time with you guys. I hope you didn't have issues with Collab or understanding everything I've said. If you have any questions, I'll just hop on to the YouTube and ask and answer your questions. Okay, we have deep learning class just after this, but after deep learning class, I'll hop on to YouTube and answer all your questions. I won't leave anyone untouched. So yeah, you're fine, and I got you. All right, so I'm stopping sharing and I'm handing over to the moderator. All right.
Thank you very much, Daniel. Such an honor, a wonderful class. Thumbs up, thumbs up. So
Yeah.
we'll just jump into the next class, which is AI and ML. So for our learners, please, we are appealing to you. Next time, the screen will be much clearer and brighter, so we all can see. I know some of us are having problems with downloading our IDL, but of course, next time we'll sort that out. Thank you. So see you in our next class. Please, we can all jump into the next class, with the artificial intelligence and machine learning class. Thank you.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. All right. So uh, this should be much better since that's the second time.